Hi kids, Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. I'd like to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp, BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They're an online therapy company. They are international. You go online, you fill out some questions. They will place you with a licensed professional master's level or PhD level in your area or one that can do international. So thank you, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. Okay. Whoo, diving into it. It's hot. Oh my God. Even my hometown of Chico got up to like, what did they say it was 118? Which is stupid because that's like Arizona weather, which is not normal for Northern California. So anyway, I guess I need to turn my sound off so I don't go dinging every time there's a question. Okay. All right. So topic, hold on, current event. This is important because this has been happening a lot. This was on the AP. Scammers are swiping billions from Americans every year. Worse, most crooks are getting away with it. So what has been happening, and this happened recently with Graceland, is that some scammer over in a third world country somewhere decided that they were going to fill out fake forms saying that the owner of Graceland, who's Elvis's, great granddaughter or something like that, owed millions of dollars because her mom took out a loan and of course the mom's not around and all of this stuff. And so it was going to come up for auction, and thank God they caught it. And then they went after them. And of course, there's no recourse. They're in a foreign country. They have nothing to do to get them. But this scam, the guy was obviously a narcissist. Obviously, because he was willing to do an interview. So he did an interview with some VPN network where they couldn't find where he was on the AP. And he basically was bragging about, oh, we do this all the time. It's not just with Graceland. We do this with, mom and pop who are 90 years old and aren't paying attention to their deeds. And, and we're able to steal their property and this, and he was proud of it. He was proud of it. May he have the karma he deserves. That's all I have to say. So it's a really good idea that if you have elderly family members, help them keep a check on their deed to their house, on other property that they have, phone scams, the AI stuff. So now it's getting to the point where they can mimic people's voices and have them call somebody and go, "Hi, Grandma, it's your grandson and I'm stuck in Mexico and I need $10,000. They're holding me hostage." So you never, ever, 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 if you don't recognize the number and if it's a grandson, oh, hold on, get them on another phone and call them to verify that they're okay. They're just they go after the elderly. They go after the elderly, or they go after the young that don't understand that this is how this works. So the other thing that they've been doing is political donations. So you'll get these frantic messages on your phone. If you don't donate $10 now, none of those are affiliated with either party. Let's be clear. None of those frantic, oh my God, I need 100 more people in your zip code to donate $10. Doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. That is a scam. That money is going directly into the pockets of whoever that phone number belongs to. So you've got to be very, very smart, logical, critical thinking. What is going on here? And you want to check in with your county to make sure that there's like safety things in place so that this cannot happen. So like, for example, I believe in Maricopa County, there is a fail-safe to keep this kind of scam from progressing. But in a lot of states, there are not. And the elderly have been scammed out of their entire life savings. And they need that life savings for medical, for healthcare, for if they need assisted living, if they. So the thought that some piece of crap narcissist is proud Oh, look how smart I am. What does that sound like? Look how clever I am. Oh, what does that sound like? Look how I'm getting away with this. What does that sound like? Proud of what they're doing, how they're hurting people, and they don't care. They don't lose a wink of sleep at night that they are harming people. So please, please, please watch out for your elderly relatives. Don't fall for telephone scams. Just because somebody's being frantic in a text does not mean it's real. And just because somebody sounds like your nephew, your grandson, your son, your daughter, your whatever, doesn't mean it's them. So you're going to have to be really, really careful about responding to these things. What I do is when I get the frantic, oh, we need 100 more people in your, nope, delete, block. There we go. Done. Block them, block them, block them, block them. Anyway, okay, let's get into rumination, shall we? So rumination is when we chew the cud. Essentially, if you're a country person, you'll understand what that is. So when cows eat, they have two stomachs. When cows eat, it goes into one stomach and then they regurgitate it. It's gross. It's disgusting. And then they chew it some more. It's called chewing the cud. Yeah, it's disgusting. But what we do emotionally is we ruminate. So ruminating is where something happens. Some interaction happens. And rather than emotionally processing it, what we tend to do is we ruminate. Now, in our minds, we think that if we ruminate and we play it over and over and over and over and over and over, we're either going to figure out what to say differently, which usually doesn't happen, or we figure out what to say differently 24 hours after the fact, or it doesn't make us feel good at all. And we just feel more upset, anxious, embarrassed, maybe ashamed, that whole thing. So rumination, this is kind of a continuation of my discussion on shame. Rumination is a function of shame. So it's trying to find the right answer, find the right answer, find the right answer, find the right answer, or do it differently, do it differently. And so by ruminating, we replay things. So oftentimes what we do, instead of saying, it is what it is, I could have said this differently, but I didn't, and oh well, I'll know better next time, right? Instead of doing that, what we'll do is we'll lie in bed, stare at the ceiling and go, oh my God, I should have said this. I could have said this. I would have said this. If I'd done this differently, well, if I'd said this, if I did, and it doesn't stop. And the inner critic jumps in. So it's it's like tag team wrestling. So the rumination's going, and then the inner critic goes, yeah, you're stupid for not doing that. Yeah, you should have said that. Yeah, you did it. Oh my God. And pretty soon you're embarrassed. You're ashamed. You're feeling awful about yourself. And that is what rumination can do for you. So let's talk about how to stop it or what purpose it thinks it's serving. So again, we do these maladaptive behaviors in a misguided attempt to make ourselves feel better. It's anxiety, but it's also shame. So we're trying to work this stuff through, but we're not really processing it emotionally. What we're doing is we're beating the living crap out of ourselves. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. My fault, all my fault. I could have done this. I should have done this. I would have done this. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I say that? Oh my God, I'm so stupid. I swear to you, if you give that inner critic an inch, that mother clucker will take a mile. It will. So it'll find any opportunity it can to march in and really make you feel like doo-doo. Don't allow it. Don't allow it. And here's how we're going to stop it. So this is the article that I found on Health Central. The difference between rumination and emotional processing. Now they're very, very different. Rumination is just it's like a hamster on a wheel, and it's the same thought over and over and over again, over and over and over again, over and over and over again. You feel worse and worse and worse and worse. It's like eating an oyster. Oh God, I hate oysters. Anyway, so the point being is rumination doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't, there's no end. It's like that. I know you guys are too young to remember this. I'm going to show my age, but I don't care. So there was this old coffee commercial that used to have this song, and it never ended. And it went da 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 da. That's rumination, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. The song was supposed to represent a percolating coffee pot, which we no longer have percolating coffee pots. But hey, one of these days, Sonny, I'll teach you about the old ways. Anyway, the point being is, it was a never-ending song. That is rumination. And it just keeps going. There's no end point to it. There's no resolution to it. It's just, how can I make myself feel like crap? Really? So, okay. Rumination does not have an endpoint. Rumination is identified not by the content of the worry, because everybody worries, we do, but how it acts and how it feels. So, how it acts is almost obsessive compulsive, and how it feels is shameful. It's always a shame component. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. You should have done this better. You should have done this better. You could have done this better. Why didn't you do this? You would have done. Do you see where I'm going with that? So if rehashing a negative event helps you to move on by putting the experience in perspective or leading to some kind of action, that's emotional processing. Whereas ruminating is, there's no perspective, there's no action, there's no resolution, there's no way to make it better, there's no way to self-soothe, there's no way to go, okay, well, this happened. If that happens again, next time I will do X, Y, and Z. Nope, there is none of that. It's just, let's do this over and over again till I can keep rubbing your nose in what you did wrong. Now, where do we learn that? I'll give you 3 guesses. First 2 don't count. Starts with narcissist, sounds with complete jackass. You see where I'm going with that? So, yeah, it's narcissistic. When we made a mistake, when we didn't do what the narcissist wanted, they would rub our nose. Why did you do that? Why did you say that? Why did you da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da? And they would never let us forget it. And years later, they'd bring it up at a family gathering. Oh, do you remember the time when you fill in the blank? Do you see where I'm going with that? So unfortunately, we have taken that kind of behavior, internalized it, and now we ruminate. It's also part of PTSD. It's kind of like we grab onto things and we think about them and think about them and think about them, but there's no emotional processing, which is why PTSD is so harmful, because there's no moving forward. So how do we get out of that? Okay, let me go back to this. Rumination does not have an end point. It is identified not by content of the worry. There's no leading to an end. There's no leading to an action. Ruminating doesn't result in action or helpful insights. But that's not always obvious, because we think by thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, somehow we're working it out. So if you find yourself ruminating, literally set an egg timer, 3 minutes. That's it. Give yourself 3 minutes. And when you're done, whoa, that was fascinating. There was no resolution. There was no action. There was no emotional processing. That must be rumination. Do you see where I'm going with that? So you can help yourself know the difference, because in 3 minutes time, you certainly should be able to get some sort of action or some sort of emotional acceptance, like, yeah, that happened. Yep, I said that. What can I do differently? Okay, I can do this differently. Okay, done. Rumination, on the other hand, is just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Why did you do that? Why did you say that? Why did you da-da-da? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Do you see where I'm going with that? So egg timer, that's how you know the difference. If in 3 minutes you have not resolved it or done some emotional processing, then you're ruminating. So now what do? Now you know you're ruminating. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. I wanted to get back to rumination does not have an end point. It doesn't result in anything good. It basically is, it's just making yourself feel bad. It's like, it really is. It doesn't make yourself feel better. So we think it's going to make ourselves feel better if we relive it and we keep dwelling on it and we keep replaying it because we think it's going to make us safe somehow. It's not. It's not, unless you can come to an emotional resolution. Ruminating makes us feel more like we are not in control, because it just keeps getting bigger in our mind. Oh my God, everybody thinks I'm stupid. Oh my God, everybody thinks I did the wrong thing. Oh my God. I mean, and I think I've told you the story about eating oysters, right? My dad thought it would be really funny if he told me to chew on the oysters, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, nastier, nastier, nastier. That's what ruminating does, because there's no perspective. There's no outside voice going, hello, wasn't that bad. I mean, yeah, it was bad, but it wasn't that bad. Come on, let's find a resolution. Let's find a way to help you move past it. So basically, hold on. It makes us feel more out of control because we can't find a solution because there is no solution to this. The inner critic doesn't want there to be a solution to this any more than the narcissist wanted a real answer to rubbing our nose in it. Why did you say that? Why did you do that? They didn't want an answer to that. They just wanted an excuse to rub our nose in whatever happened, something that they usually set up. All right, so what does emotional processing looks like? Okay, emotional processing is using your emotions either or regulating or even just tapping into them to understand why you're feeling the way you do. It's a therapeutic technique, but it's something that you can also practice at home. Something that one of my clients, I learn so much from my clients every day, guys. I love my clients. They are phenomenal. So one of my clients, when we were working on emotional regulation, she's like, damn it. And I was like, what? And she's like, I'm hurting my own feelings. And I was like, yes, you are. Then we had a good laugh. And so that's kind of been our thing. It's like when there's emotional dysregulation going on and the inner critic takes over and all of these lies that the inner critic does, everybody thinks this, everybody, you're so stupid, you're so dumb, you should have, you could have, you would have, blah, 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 blah. Whenever that happens, that is your cue that you are hurting your own feelings. It really is. And I loved that. And I loved that she was self-aware enough to be able to point that out. I was like, that's brilliant. I'm stealing that. So anyway, there is that. So we end up hurting our own feelings. So it's really important to recognize when that inner critic is going to town and making it worse, and the rumination is just spinning out of control. That's when you have to literally step off the crazy train, because it is crazy. Oh my God. Trust me, I've been there and I've done that. I know what it is. So you have to step off the crazy train, take a deep, deep, deep breath. Let it out and start feeling the feelings. What is this helping? It's not. Okay. So I keep hearing coulda, shoulda, woulda. Well, what can I do differently next time? How am I feeling? Oh, well, there's a lot of shame. Ooh, okay, there's a lot of shame. Where is that coming from? Oh, this is coming from the ex, the family of origin, the jerk down the street that decided to be rude, whatever. Okay, you got to start working it through and not just spinning on the hamster wheel, going over and 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 over. Okay, so all right, tapping into your emotions, feel the feelings. What is going on? Stepping away from it, not ignoring it. So let's be clear: when we ignore a problem, it is like, okay, there's a pink elephant taking a dump in the corner of the living room, right? And we go, oh, pink elephant taking a dump in the corner of the living room. Oh my God, I don't want to think about the pink elephant. I don't want to think about the pink. I'm not thinking about the pink. I'm not thinking about the pink. I'm not thinking about, what am I thinking about the whole damn time? We're thinking about the pink elephant. So the way to make the pink elephant start shrinking, the way to make the rumination start shrinking is to acknowledge it. Holy cow, I am ruminating. Wow, that is so not helpful. Thank you, brain. Have a nice day. Don't do that. That's lovely. I see you, I hear you, and you're not helping. So either you give me a resolution, help me figure out the emotions, help me regulate my emotions, or you can go pound sand, basically. So just telling a thought to go away is not going to make that thought go away. In fact, what that thought's going to do is go, oh yeah, watch this. And it's going to come back bigger and badder, which is why you've got to be able to go, yeah, thought, I hear you, I see you, and you are not allowed in for coffee because you'll stay for breakfast. I know you will. Do you see where I'm going with that? So that's when you step away, when you realize, okay, I'm ruminating, I'm pouring things over and over and over again. Deep breath. Okay, let me step off the crazy train. Deep breath. I hear you, I see you. No, I'm unwilling to do this anymore. No, thank you. No, thank you. I get to say no. You know why? I'm the boss. You're not. Piss off, rumination. So what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What is this teaching me? What could I have done differently? Okay, could I have done that? Maybe, maybe not. And get a hold of the emotions. Wow, I'm feeling a lot of shame around this. Oh, okay. Whose shame is this? Who does this belong to? It is not mine. Whose is it? Figure out where that goes to, you know? So, yeah. All right. Hold on. Back to this. The final step. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. Processing emotions can involve pausing to think rather than acting on the strong emotion and acknowledging that you are feeling sad or hurt or ashamed or embarrassed or lonely or scared or angry or whatever emotion is going on. Narcissists don't like it when we know what we're feeling. Let's be clear about that. They love to use the emotions to confuse us, and they don't like it when we're able to name the emotions. Wow, I am feeling angry. I am feeling sad. Ooh, or I'm feeling angry, and what's driving the anger is sadness. Ooh, there's a thought. Do you see where I'm going with that? They don't like it when we can figure ourselves out, because if we can figure ourselves out, we got them G2'd. You know what I'm saying? So they don't like it that we recognize emotions. It's hugely important to start feeling the feelings. What are you feeling? Which emotion are you feeling? What is going on? What are the thoughts around that particular event that you're ruminating about? Where did those thoughts come from? Who taught them to you? Who taught you to ruminate? Who taught you to be ashamed? Who taught you? You know, take it back to them. It's not yours. Okay, pausing to think rather than acting on a strong emotion. Okay, take a deep breath, back up. Wait a minute. Do I need to feel ashamed? No, I don't. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, I didn't, so I'm going to have to accept it, you know? And I'm having strong emotions about it. And that's okay. Emotions are normal. Humans have them. Narcissists don't. They do, but they don't have them the same way we do. So we've talked about that. So you acknowledge what you are feeling. The final step of emotional processing is then using that feeling to learn from. Okay, what do I do next time? Or how do I handle it now? You know, do I need to make amends? Do I need to tell this person to go pound sand? What do I need to do? What's the next action? What is the next right step? Actions can help include drawing your feelings, making a gratitude list, or journaling, letting yourself cry or scream, talking to someone you trust, or listing out solutions to the problem at hand. I like the last one. That's usually what I do. It's like, okay, here's the problem. What can I do? And here's the other side. Here's what I can do about it. Self-care is a huge part of the emotional processing. You must give yourself grace. You got to forgive yourself. We've all been there. We've all done that. I think damn near everyone on this channel has probably ruminated at some point in time or another. It's because it's a maladaptive way of dealing with crazy stuff. Seriously. And working on self-esteem also helps, because when you have certainty, when you know who you are and you can sort out the difference between you and the internal critic, boy, howdy, you don't need to ruminate anymore, because things happen and you go, let me process this. Let me figure out the emotions. Okay, what can I do differently? Okay, is there something I need to do now? And pretty much the shame just goes bye-bye, because there's no room for it. You're not inviting it in for coffee, and it has no reason to stay for breakfast. So that's a good thing. So keep working on the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. Facing Codependency by Pia Melody. You know, that's the other thing they work on us with is, well, you need to take care of me, and you should have done that. And you could, anybody who pulls out the you guns, I can guarantee you they've got an agenda and it's all about them. So watch out for that. And that's another way that we get hooked by shame. And that's another way we get hooked into ruminations. Oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. I could have done this. I could have done that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it benefits the narcissist, not us. Okay. So you take good care of yourself. You give yourself grace. If the thought pops up again, which it will, you're going to say, hello, thought. I hear you. I see you. And I am not inviting you in for coffee because I know you'll stay for breakfast. Bye-bye. We've already worked this through. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Go pound sand. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And that's what you do. You acknowledge it, but you don't let it in. And you can do that. It's beautiful because it's an and world. If you need to, you can write it out. You can be like, okay, popped up again. Obviously, there's something I'm not letting go. What am I not letting go? Okay. Self-care, we talked about that. Remember, telling the thought to go away on its own is not going to make it go away. You've got to be very firm, and you've got to be like you're dealing with a bully. So you've got to be like, you are going away. I hear you. I see you. You're not coming in. We've already worked this through. Why? Because I am the boss and you are not. Bye-bye. I'm not doing this. Like, not too long ago, probably about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe more, I had this rumination that popped up and I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing this again. And I kind of stood up straight and I imagined the thought as a person. And I looked at it and I said, you're a bully. I am not doing this again. No, I am taking my power back. You don't get to live in my head rent free. One more second. Go pound sand. Go to HE double toothpicks. That's not what I said. I'm pretty sure I swore the whole time. But you know what I'm saying? And it's like afterwards, John was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just telling the internal critic to go pound sand. He's like, okay. So, but if that's what it takes to tell that thought to sod off, do it. Do it. You'll feel silly. Maybe. I felt pretty good. But, being able to be like, okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with you, thought. I'm done. Thanks for playing. Go pound sand. We're not doing this. I've already done everything I needed to do. I'm not going to shame myself. No, thank you. Bye-bye. Poof. See where I'm going with that? It takes practice. It takes practice. It really, truly does. But once you get the hang of it, dear Lord, you don't ruminate anymore. Okay. Let's see. Okay. You can be aware of the thought without engaging with it. We talked about that. It's like when you get a phone call notification, but you choose not to answer the phone. It's the same thing. It's like, yep, I hear you. I see you. I am hitting no. Seriously. And you got to practice. You got to practice letting it go. You got to practice telling it to go pound sand. If there's something that you want to do differently, figure out what you want to do differently, write it down and let your brain know, okay, we've written it down. We've got it for next time. I can let this go now. Because the brains are not, remember, the amygdala is not very smart and it can't tell the difference between past, present, future. So if you write it down, it thinks you've done something about whatever this threat is that keeps replaying in your mind. So that's what you want to do. You want to write it down. It's like, okay, here's what I'll do next time. Here's what I'm going to do. All right, we're done. Thank you. Bye-bye. So there you go. So that is one way to stop ruminating. Okay, hold on a second. You don't want to avoid, because without actively challenging them, it will come back. Distracting yourself will not work in the long run. If you're just distracting yourself, no, you want to hit it head on. Like, seriously, like with any bully, you want to look it dead in the eyes and you want to be like, okay, bro, come on, bring it. What do you got? Oh, yeah, you know what? No, I shouldn't have done that. I couldn't have done that. I didn't do that. So you know what? I am accepting and I'm letting it go. And now you, thought, can go pound sand or whatever. But you can't stay here. Do you see where I'm going with that? It's all about taking your power back. In a way, it's almost like that internal critic and that rumination is almost like the abuser continuing to abuse us. And I think if you think of it that way and you get mad at it and you tell it no in no uncertain terms, it's pretty much going to stop. So when I stood up to that bully thought that I had a few years ago, personified it and just told it where it could get off, it stopped. Because again, the amygdala can't tell the difference, past, present, future. It was like, oh, it told it to go away. Okay. And so it stopped, which was great. So practice. So again, there's a difference between practicing what to say, like a resolution, and ruminating. So if you don't have a resolution to whatever it is you need to say, within 3 minutes, you're ruminating. So don't do that. You don't want to do that. You want to tell the bully to stop bullying you, basically. Okay, learning to redirect your attention, redirect your thoughts, being very clear with that. No, and I mean it. Sawed off, go pound sand, and then go do something nice for yourself. Drink some water, go for a walk. Praise yourself. Hey, good job telling that bully off. Good job. Pat yourself on the back. It's okay. Seriously. So do something good for you. That's all part of self-care. It's like when you've done well. Okay. So this is what I tell my clients. So in the morning, we do the mirror work, right? To set up the day. It's like, hi, good to see you. Have a great day. I give you permission to like yourself. And then you walk out, right? So at night, a nice little good night kiss to that is, hey, good to see you again. You're in the full length mirror. You're looking at yourself. Hey, good to see you again. Here are 3 things you did right today. And then you tell yourself the 3 things you did right, or even the 1 thing you did right. Hey, you know what? I want you to sleep really well and then go to bed. And I can guarantee you your sleep's going to get better. So we never, ever acknowledge ourselves, mainly because our abusers have lied to us and told us that, oh, we're arrogant if we acknowledge ourselves, or that we're not humble if we acknowledge ourselves, or whatever BS they've decided to come up with. It's really important to acknowledge what you've done right. Nobody on this planet can make it through life without getting some encouragement. That's all you're doing. You are encouraging yourself. Hey, good to see you. You did 3 things right today, or 2 things right today, or 3 things, or 1 thing, and you tell yourself what you did right and praise yourself like a good parent would. Because that's what we're doing, guys. We're reparenting ourselves to get rid of that abuser, that inner critic, that negative, nasty, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Why did you do that? Why did you say that? Let's replay it 100,000 million times. Da, 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 da. Do you see where I'm going with that? So yeah, reparent yourself. Put that little good night kiss at the end of your day. Hey, good to see you again. Here are 3 things you did right today. You did this right. You did this right. You did this right. I really want you to sleep really well and have great, fun dreams. Good night. And then go to bed. That's how to stop rumination. And if it starts, like say you lay down and it starts up again, okay, brain, you know what? I'm going to write this down. I'm going to come up with a resolution, and you are going to shut the hell up because I am going to sleep, period. You're going to have to be tough with it, guys. You are. Don't let your brain bully you. Seriously. So anyway, there is that. Okay, let's go to the questions. Yes, my sound is off. Okay. Does a narcissist parent get jealous of the other parent when that one spends time with their child? Oh my God, yes. Oh, dear God, yes. I cannot tell you the number of times I would see narcissists when I used to do couples counseling. I don't do couples counseling anymore because basically I would only see couples that were a narcissist with their target of abuse. And I was just kind of like, yeah, no, I'm going to do individual from now on out. So they would come in and one of their complaints would be, well, my spouse spends too much time with the kids. Red flag. And then of course I'd call it out and they would eventually stop coming because I wasn't siding with them. So, yeah, absolutely. They get intensely, they're crazy, guys. When I say they're crazy, I am not just whistling a tune, okay? They get jealous of dogs. They get jealous of cats. I have seen them get rid of the dogs, get rid of the cats, get rid of the kids. I don't want your kids around. We're going to send them to boarding school. What? You're going to, over my dead body? Well, I bet they could arrange that too. You know what I'm saying? So they get insanely jealous if they are not, the sun and does not rise and set on their ass. Like seriously, if the parent is spending time with their own child, they get insanely jealous. There was one, oh my God, where it was the male that was the narcissist, and the wife was nursing, and he was jealous that she was nursing. Like seriously, enraged that she was nursing, and how dare she? That's insane. That's insane. That is insane. Yes, they do that. They get jealous over dogs, cats, fish, anything that you are putting your attention to. If you're in a book club and you're spending time with your girlfriends, they'll get jealous of their girlfriends. If you're doing some sort of social thing. They'll get jealous of your social group. If you're working and you're having to travel and do things, they'll start accusing you of spending too much time at work or having an affair with your boss or whatever. They are insane, like crazy, like, oh my God, yes. So short answer, yes. Long answer, yes, and all of what I said before. So yeah, absolutely. My late narcissist mom accused me of manipulation when my dad spent time with me because she never did. Yeah, they get insanely jealous. They can't understand why you would deserve to have attention because it belongs to them. Remember, there is no boundary with them, none. And if you're getting something that they don't have, it enrages them. Seriously, they're just evil. I mean, just evil. Don't get me started. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, what is your saying for the head and heart tells a story? Because that's how I'm remembering this. If I am shoulda, coulda, or woulda. Yes. Okay. So the head and the heart tell stories all the time. The gut never does. So the gut is your instinct. It's literally your gut instinct. Okay. It's like your second brain, kind of. So your head and your heart will tell huge stories. Well, but this, that, and the other thing. And what about this, that, and the other thing? And what about this, that, and the other thing? And oh my goodness. Lots of confusion, right? If you ask your gut a yes or no answer, it will give you a yes or no, or yes or no question. It will give you a yes or no answer. The head and the heart, tell stories. So if you're getting 100,000 million different stories, you're in your head or you're in your heart. You need to take a deep breath, step out, step aside, take another deep breath. Okay, let's look at this logically. What can I do? What's the action? What's the next right step? I don't need to keep replaying this. See where I'm going with that? So yes, this is slightly different than the head and the heart and the gut. Not really, but sort of. So head and the heart tell stories. The gut does not. The gut is like a gut instinct. It's like the, ooh, we need to go. That kind of thing, So you probably should want to listen to that because the gut is very never. It's very never wrong. It is never wrong. I have yet to see my gut be wrong. So head and the heart, though, never right. It's always emotional. It's always, all over the place and all these stories that are not true. So yeah, so the gut is a yes or no question and a yes or no answer. There's no story to it. If you're getting story, you're in your head or you're in your heart. One of the two. And like I said, we got to stop hurting our own feelings. And be able to get out of the head, get out of the heart, step aside, take a deep breath, logic and critical thinking. What can I do differently? What do I need to do now? What's the next right step? And thank you, bully thought. I am not allowing you in. Go to hell. Not playing. Bye-bye. Go pound sand. Don't resist it, but don't let it in. You got to acknowledge it. I hear you. I see you. I'm not letting you in. I'm done with you. I've already made an action plan, so piss off. So that's what you want to do. All right, let's go to the next question. Why does a narc constantly talk over people? They refuse to stop when asked and call the target selfish or rude for having boundaries. Well, of course they are. They hate boundaries. Narcissists talk over people because they think they're the only one that has all the answers and should be listened to. They don't care about another living thing on this planet. I don't know if you've noticed this or not yet. They don't. Me, I, more my genitals. That is a narcissist. So another person's opinion, they wouldn't care. They don't care to hear it. They already know it. They're know-it-alls. And they like to pontificate because they love to hear the sound of their own voice. Oh my God. So narcissists do that. Narcissists like to interrupt people. They like to, what's the word I'm thinking? Commandeer. They like commandeer the conversation. They have to be the center of attention. Nobody else is given the chance to talk. It's different from a survivor of abuse that wants to be heard. Now, a lot of times survivors of abuse will also interrupt, mainly because they've been taught that by their abusive families, okay? Because that was the only way to get a word in edgewise. So there's a difference. It's like with survivors of abuse, if you call them out on it, they go, oh, sorry, I'll be very careful about that. And then they're very careful about that. With a narcissist, they don't care. It's like they don't want to hear what you have to say anyway. So that's why they talk over people. That's why they interrupt. That's why, because they honestly think they're all that in a bag of chips. So there's that. But that's very different from a survivor that interrupts or talks over people, because survivors, a lot of time when you ask them, it's like, how old are you feeling when you do that? Ooh, I'm really young. I never got heard. They never got heard. All little kids want to do is be heard and validated and loved, and narcissists are incapable of that. So when a narcissist interrupts, it's because self-importance, self-aggrandizing. I'm the greatest thing. I don't need your opinion. I don't want you to talk. I need to have all eyes on me. What the hell? When a survivor does it, it's because they're afraid they're not being heard. And it's a very different intention. And you can kind of tell. Not kind of tell. You can totally tell. So there that is. Okay. Let's see. And as far as being called rude for having boundaries, they hate boundaries. Any boundary. The word no to them is like kryptonite. They hate it. And they get pissed off when anyone uses boundaries, 100%, because they want to be able to use and abuse people. And if somebody has the word no in their pocket and uses it and is not afraid to and stands up to them, ooh, they can't be manipulated. Ooh, I don't like this person. Do you see where I'm going with that? So there that is. Okay. Why does a narcissist sabotage other people's progress? The narc claims they are trying to help. Okay. Narcissists cannot stand anyone to be successful except they literally think that they are the end all and be all of life, and no one can outdo them, not even their own children. Okay. They will sabotage their children. They will sabotage coworkers. They will sabotage family members. They'll sabotage total strangers if they think they can get away with it, because they cannot stand anyone being better than them. And remember, for a narcissist, it's all a competition. Everything is a competition. There's nothing in their world that is not a competition. Like, to be gross, but if you tell them that you had a big BM, they'll tell you that theirs was bigger. Seriously, that is how they are. Everything is a competition. And so nobody can be better than them in anything. In anything. They have to be the best. They have to be the king or the queen or the whatever. And so it's always a competition. And that's why they sabotage other people around them, because they don't want anybody to be a threat to their ego, because that's all they are. There is nothing there but ego. It's all ego. Because if there was something there, you'd be able to work with it. There is nothing there. It is all ego. So I hope that answers the question. Okay. They're not helping. They're sabotaging. So be very wary. Be very wary. If somebody says, oh, I'm just helping. No, they're not. Especially if they're sabotaging. Okay. How can you prevent the narcissist family being contacted in emergencies like accidents, illness, and even death? Is there a legal way to keep them out of it and them not knowing? Well, what you do is you make everybody aware that you are no contact with that family of origin. You do, you get an attorney, have your will written up, have a power of attorney, have a medical power of attorney, and make your attorney aware of the situation. The best thing to do is to let as many people know that are allies as possible, and to get your legal papers in order. So that's why it's important to have a will. It's important to have a living will. It's important to have a power of attorney, medical power of attorney, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, so that there's no chance for them to get their fingers into your pie, so to speak. Does that make sense? So yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. Next week, guys, we are going to talk about abuse amnesia. Why do I forget? Why when my abuser suddenly comes back into my orbit again and they're all sweet talking me, that suddenly every little bit of abuse goes out the window and I'm listening to the love bombing again. Or I'm dealing with healing and I just don't remember things. What's going on? It's called abuse amnesia. It's part of PTSD. So we're going to talk about that. So you guys be very good to yourselves this week. It is hotter than a cat on a hot tin roof. Drink a lot of water. Please stay hydrated. Please stay cool. Check on the elderly. Check on the very young. Check on your pets. Make sure your pets have got water and shade and all that sort of good stuff. So that's it. All right, you guys, be good. And I will see you in Washington on the 20th, Washington, D.C. Go to chrisgodinas.com appearances to see where else I'm going to be around. I'm going to be in Philadelphia. I'm also going to be in York, Pennsylvania. So you guys be good, and I will talk to you later. Bye.